Many parents think that the key to getting the best GCSE grades is for the child to wait until year 11 and then starting to work hard then. But what if I told you that the students who make the biggest jump in grades or those who achieve the highest grades all actually secure those grades before year 11? Now, we've worked with over 500 students. And we've seen a clear pattern. The most high achieving students are those who started GCSE preparation early. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to break down exactly what your child needs to do to set themselves up for the best GCSE grades before year 11 even starts. Okay, so here's one of the key reasons then why many students don't get the grade that they deserve in year 11, why they don't get the best grades. And that's because many students wait until year 11 to start GCSE preparation. And year 11 is a very busy time, it's a very stressful time. There are lots of mocks exam, there are after school help sessions, and there are revision for multiple subjects. Not to mention that because in many schools, GCSEs now start from year 9 instead of year 10, waiting until year 11 means essentially trying to cover 3 years of content in one. And that is quite a lot. So this really leads to stressed, rushed learning and gaps in understanding, which is a recipe for underperformance. Okay, so what do top students do differently? What do top students do to set themselves up to get the best GCSE grades in year 11? Now, the students who we've worked with, the students who consistently achieve top grades, they all started GCSE preparation early. And what we've found here is that sweet spot tends to be April time of year 9 or year 10, depending on the student. What happens then when they start GCSE preparation early? Well, they master the foundations. So they master the foundations before year 11, which means that when it comes to year 11, they are just revisiting the content, which is really what revision is. They're just revisiting the content rather than rushing their learning and cramming their learning. They retain information better because they've had time to go through the key information, go through the core information, for the brain to process that information and for it to go into their long-term memory, again, rather than trying to cram everything within a short space of time. Because they're not rushing everything, they reduce the stress and they avoid the last minute panic. But also they give themselves plenty of time to do practice exam questions, and that really helps to develop their confidence as well. Now, when it comes to mastering foundational topics, retaining the information, developing exam technique, I've put all of that into my PDF guide called The 3 Simple Steps to Achieve Top Grades in GCSE Maths and Science, and I'm going to put that in the link below. So if that's something you want to learn more about, then check the link down in the description below. So now you might be thinking, well, what should my child be doing then to get started and set themselves up to get the best grades for year 11 for GCSE Maths and Science? Number 1 is they need to master the foundation now. So the GCSE assessment is based on assessment of prior knowledge. So it assesses everything that a child has learned from year 7, year 8, and year 9. So if they start, and these are all the basics, these are all the foundations. So if they start to go over these content, it would help them to have a good, solid understanding of this content. And so therefore, when they meet the more harder and the more complex topics, it would make it much easier for them to understand and apply their knowledge. So for example, if a child is struggling with algebra in year 10, this is going to make it very hard for them to do the higher paper problem solving questions later. So getting that good grounding, that good foundation is really important, because GCSE exams test understanding over time, not that last minute memorization. The second thing is they need to start practicing exam questions early. I cannot tell you the amount of students who wait, they separate practicing exam questions from learning the content like it's something completely different, but it is a skill. It is just as important, or in my opinion, probably even more important for passing your GCSE exam as the content. And so what a lot of students do is they wait until mocks in year 11 or even during that Easter break just before the exams for them to practice, to start practicing exam questions. And really what top students do is they start practicing exam questions now. They just make that a daily part of their preparation for GCSE exams. What I typically suggest to my students is about 15 to 20 minutes a day to practice an exam question per subject, but obviously focus on the subjects that you struggle with the most, because students have 10 subjects. You're not going to have time to do that 10 subjects every single week. So first thing is to identify the subjects that they struggle with the most, and then spend about 15 to 20 minutes a day practice exam questions, and that does wonders to help the students to get ahead. What practicing exam questions does is it actually helps them to apply their knowledge way before the exams in year 11. So a quick tip then is ensure your child, or help your child have a structured revision plan for each subject before year 11 begins. Now, the final thing that your child needs to do now before year 11 begins is to get support early. Support that can be in the form of support from friends and family, support from speaking to teachers at school, extra support from extra tutoring sessions. And that is a complete game changer, because that means that the child is not left alone, and whenever they have any struggles or any challenges, there's someone there to help them iron out those challenges. So example, our students who enroll on our Elite GCSE Mastery program, they get additional one-on-one support during their tutoring sessions with us. And even when they finish their program, we continue to give them that support to make sure that they never left alone, and to help them to get unstuck whenever they need that support. If you want to find out anything about if you want to find out more about the GCSE Mastery Program, drop a message in the comment below and I'll personally respond to you. Okay, so now, if your child is already in year 11, there is still time to make a difference, so don't worry. What I'm going to do is I am going to leave a video. There'll be a video coming up for you that you can watch that will show you how your child can get ahead and master GCSE Maths and Science before year 11, before the stress of year 11 kicks in. Okay, that's all for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.